So I was born in Indiana, and that's where I grew up all my life, and that's where I ended up joining the Indiana National Guard as well.
United, we are the keepers of the dream. And we are on guard.
All of my dad's brothers were all in the service. My grandpas were in the service, so a lot of military. I was a junior in high school, and I had went and checked out the National Guard, and they allow you to join at the age of 17 while you're a junior in high school, and I signed on in September of 2002. After basic training, that was in between my junior and senior year, I came back home, did my senior year of high school, and then after that went back to AIT.
Advanced Individual Training, or AIT, is where a warrior, after they've completed BCT, will move into their job-specific skills. When a warrior finishes AIT, they are officially a soldier.
June of 2005 that I made my way to Kuwait and then to northern Iraq. I was stationed in Mosul, Iraq in 2005. I was with the 113th Combat Engineer Battalion out of Indiana as well. We did route clearance, fob protection, building and destroying structures over there as well. Clearance is what the engineers do before a convoy moves down any prescribed route. We go and we take a specialized vehicle and look for IEDs and make sure that the route is clear for the convoys coming through and no issues for them. Find an IED on route clearance, one or two things can happen. EOD will come out and remove it, or typically for us, we would tear it apart with the truck that we had, and then we would place explosives on it and blow it up to clear the route. Lots of IED explosions. There's always something being blown up, and you've got to go out there and also go through neighborhoods and build things as well, and there's always people attacking you with mortars and things like that. 2005 was the big election year for them. The election over there was a very hot topic. The terrorists obviously don't want it, and we were trying to keep everything in line and going. So it was kind of like the Wild West there. A lot of stuff happened. It was a crazy time. I had a very strong NCO chain of command above me, so they were instrumental in teaching me how to operate under that kind of stress as a young soldier. I was only 20 years old, so that was a good part of getting through it. Otherwise, we got up every day and we just did what we needed to do, and we go back out and fulfill missions. Weapons were always functionable, and you check and double check before you go out, because it would be a rare circumstance that you don't have to use your weapon. But I would be a gunner in a gun truck on a machine gun, and I would carry my M4 in the gun turret with me as a backup in case the machine gun failed or ran out of ammo. I could still return fire with my rifle. One night in particular, we were building up around the police station and adding fortification when a man in a long trench coat come walking through. And this is Iraq, so it's hot, and that does look out of place, and you've got to be on guard for things that look out of place. And he wasn't really responding to any of the commands, but yet still trying to intrude our area. I was probably about 30 feet away from him when I had my rifle drawn down on him and ordering him to stop. He didn't ever obey the commands until the eerie sound of the rifle clicking off of safe on the semi, and that was what got his attention. But turned out that he was just an intoxicated citizen and didn't have anything on him. But it's one of those scenarios that a lot of things run through your mind in a split second. Do I shoot? Do I not shoot? Is he hostile? Is he not hostile? Does he have a weapon or not? And oftentimes these people get close to everybody else, so you have to make a judgment call on maybe not the best information that you have at the time. So that one was kind of difficult, and luckily I didn't pull the trigger because he was just an intoxicated citizen. You're very on guard all the time, very tense, very apprehensive about what's going on. Now, when you start meeting certain people over and over and over again, then your guard starts to get lessened, if they're good people. I was over there for 6 months in Mosul, Iraq. I was on Fob Merez. It's an old Iraqi army base. And they bring in housing units, which are basically containers that would transport goods overseas. But they have a door and 2 windows in them and an air conditioner. Oh, some of the best times. It was either going to chow with my squad, because we had some comedians in the squad, or we would go and we would get steaks from the PX and we'd have a cookout right outside our rooms. So in 2008 is when I would get out, and I had already had 2 children and was married, and PTSD was a big player in it. On could I do the job that I wanted to do, and it was causing problems, and so I just decided that I would go ahead and get out and go back to a civilian life. For PTSD, for me, nightmares is a big thing. Anxiety, being around large crowds, feeling kind of like trapped with no exit. Anger, irritability is another big one. I've got a quick temper. If things aren't going right and getting frustrated, temper goes. And then depression on top of that, feeling the loneliness, I guess, from what you miss in the military. Being involved with other veterans is a big help. It's a sense of camaraderie right off the bat, and you have good sounding boards to go to, and hey, I'm not sure what I'm doing in this. Can you advise me on what to do? Boots on the ground is a thing that is done widely over military installations during Memorial Day. They place a boot on the ground with a flag in it for every person that has been killed since 9/11. For veterans, it's we see the brothers and sisters that we've lost to suicide or to war casualties. Most every veteran is going to know somebody who is in that situation. And so when we do it, we put these boots out on a Sunday night before Memorial Day at 6 p.m. And then we sit out there with fire watch, and we watch these boots all night long to make sure nobody steals them or messes with them. That gives us a time to come together and share stories and build camaraderie within our group, because not everybody's the same branch, not everybody's the same job. So we're able to talk and build bonds. Some people bring out their ukulele and play. Whatever talent you have, people just kind of come out to pass the time, which goes back to the whole war zone. After a mission and you've got some downtime, people bring out their hobbies, and you start learning about other people, and that's the ultimate goal here, is to learn of the veterans in our community and figure out how to help others. Oh, I would be in probably a much more terrible state than what I'm in. This group here has really breathed some life into me. I don't know where I would be. I don't know if I'd be in Florida. I don't know if I'd even be alive or not, because there's some good guys in this group that have been able to talk me out of situations. With veterans with any sort of PTSD, sexual trauma, or just separation anxiety, from getting out and going, oh man, I miss it. They need a purpose. They need a sense of something to do that is worthwhile. And a lot of times people don't know where to go. They kind of just sit at home and twiddle their thumbs. But here in Indian River County, there's so much to do for other veterans, and it can be as small as, a couple hours a week. You can actually interact with other veterans. You get a sense of fulfillment, by doing things. The Victory Center, you can go there and volunteer, and just see people walk through the door and talk to them, and kind of on a personal setting. So that's the mission and the purpose for me, is to go out and interact with others and make a difference every day in some way, shape, or form.